do you think the Niners overpaid for Emmanuel Moseley? I asked this because he was a restricted free agent. They could have had him theoretically on a 1-year deal for $3.5 million. And if someone offered more, they could have had a second-round pick. Instead, they kept him on a 2-year deal worth roughly $5 million a year. What do you think of that?
No, I don't think they overpaid. Why? I think he's a good player. I think he's a starting corner. I think he's a corner that's capable of being their starting nickel, too, in the case that K'Wan Williams walks. He plays all three positions. He plays special teams. He's a guy they've developed within their system. I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm saying he's a good, solid player. And I think that playing the restricted free agent game with him was dangerous because I think he's unrestricted next year, I want to say. And they might not have been able to pay him. And if he had another good season, which he's had solid seasons the last 2 years, I'm not sure they would have been able to get him for, or maybe this particular price might not have been available. Are the details for his contract out?
I don't think they are.
I've not seen the details. No. And I don't think it's just $5 million per year. I think it might be
obviously
years up to $10 million. I think there's a lot more to look at with it, but otherwise, yeah, I think it's a good move. I like Emmanuel Moseley. I think he's tough. I think he's a good player. I think he plays all three corner spots. He's been durable. So I think it's a good move.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I think he's a solid player. I've always liked Emmanuel Moseley, but you think he's worth the second? You think he's you would rather have Emmanuel Moseley than a second-round pick?
I don't think they would draft a corner.
Still, you would rather have Emmanuel Moseley than a second-round pick? I'll take the second-round pick.
Depends.
I like Moseley.
Depends on who the second-round pick is.
Nah, because it's capital. You can use it to trade. You can use it to control the draft. That is worth. Moseley is not in no universe is Moseley worth a second-round pick. I get that they wanted to lock him in. Maybe they felt like you're saying.
Oh, you're asking like if they tendered him and somebody else signed him.
Because what's the worst? You give him the tender, a second-round tender, and then you got him for cheap. And what you're saying is, well, maybe he balls out when he comes back, and now you lose him next year. And that's a good point,
right?
But the other way is if someone gives him another deal and you don't want to match, you just got a second-round pick for Emmanuel Moseley, baby, undrafted free agent. I'm cool with that.
No, I didn't even looked at it that way. That's funny, actually, because you didn't look at it my way and I didn't look at it your way. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So if someone, I don't think anyone would. I mean, no one would do that. No one would give up a second-round pick for Emmanuel Moseley. So I think you could have had him 1 year, $3.5 million. Why did they do 2? Well,
I think
on him starting and having a good year and maybe
it's that. And then the other thing is, I think it's a really nice way to do business too. Because Emmanuel, they've let a lot of these undrafted free agents go. Like look at Kendrick Bourne, tender, walk. Ross Dwelly seems to be on the tender, walk path. Nick Mullins was on the tender, walk path, but now he's not getting the tender anymore.
Yep.
So they've gone with it. But I think Emmanuel Moseley sets good precedent because they do rely on their development of undrafted free agents quite a bit. And Emmanuel Moseley sets up this kind of he sets an example of something undrafted free agents can look for. If you work hard, you do your job, you do it right, I think there is an opportunity that the 49ers will extend you. They do good business like that.
Yeah, I agree. In that sense, it does set a good tone for the team. Real quick, Steve was on my show yesterday, and he kept leaving $10 donations being like, Trubisky is coming to the 49ers. Mark my freaking words, Steve. Hey, good stuff. We're going to talk about Trubisky in a minute. Excited to take my Trubisky victory lap on your show. Haha, remember I told you to look for a near $20 million per year deal. I don't know who Steve is, but Steve, if they do that, 1, you'll be the ultimate legend. And 2, Kyle Shanahan will get fired pretty soon. So I don't know if you want to have that legacy because look at Vish's face. Look at his face.
$20 million for Mitchell Trubisky. I will relinquish fandom the moment it happens.
Steve, I've never seen someone more confident about anything in my life. So Steve, Vish just aged 10 years in front of us. You can look at him. He's got gray hair now. You just stressed him out.
Hold on. Oh my God.
What? 20 million? Yeah, you didn't expect to hear that, right? Okay.
I mean, I didn't mind the Mitchell Trubisky point, and then he said $20 million. Like, Steve, come on.
Hey, he's not saying what they should do. He's saying what they gon' do, and I respect that. Team Master 82 says, love the vids. What are your thoughts on Sam Darnold coming to SF?
He called him Darnold, though.
Hey, Sam Darnold might be better. Dude gave me $20 to ask me. It's funny. Me and Vish talk about Darnold every week. We got to get back to our topic. No. The quick answer is hell no. We don't like Sam Darnold. You don't need to be trading second-round picks for a dude who's mentally broken as a quarterback and still needs development when you can get the same dude from Chicago for apparently $20 million. Wow, I thought he'd be worth like $5 million. Anyway, there are better options than Sam Darnold. You don't got to be trading draft picks for guys like that. Sign. T-Master. Thank you. Real quick, and then we're going to get back to the topics. Wilson says, Ebukum's counting stats are a bit underwhelming, but his most important stat, 0 missed games. Hopefully Costa works some magic, draft an edge late. Yeah, no, he's really good. You guys are. When I first saw it, I was like, man, they really just spent on a Sam, but it's clear they have visions for more, so good for them. I hope it works out.
Yeah, and the counting stats also have to be taken into context because this is a guy that didn't get an opportunity to play a lot.
True.
So how can you accumulate counting stats if you're not playing a lot?
And honestly, 4.5 sacks playing 36% of the snaps is impressive. Alejandro Malanche says Niners should sign Shaquem Griffin and Keanu Neal to fill the second.
I think he means Shaquille.
Shaquille, yeah, Shaquem's his brother, I think. Shaquille, going to be expensive. Keanu Neal, going to be affordable. If they get either one, bueno, but I don't think they're going to get Griffin.
So
they just got their
I think Keanu Neal was a baller before the injury stuff, and I think he kind of played okay to the end of last season. I think the big thing with Keanu Neal is I think the NFL is starting to go past his skill set.
Well, at least he's better than Tavares Moore, and he plays most of the time the last 2 years. So he's a guy. But, yeah, he's not what he used to be. He was more of a box guy.
Yeah, and I don't think you can put him in space playing single high and stuff like that. So
Which is something you need for safety because Jimmy Ward's down playing in the slot. That's a good point. Swayze says, what about trading back with New England from 12 to 15? We get 97 and draft Darisaw. Could be.
Maybe.
Could. Yeah.
Who would New England trade up for, though?
Yeah, Mac Jones, Kellen Mond. I don't know.
They're trading down. Always they trade down.
They always trade down. They don't trade up. But that's clever. I see what you're thinking.